So today we'll continue with the biotransformation of the xenobiotics, especially the toxicants. So biotransformation of certain xenobiotics or toxicants depends upon the varieties of the organs, especially mainly the lungs and kidneys, whereas the hydrophilic compounds, they have got high ionization property, and some of the materials may require the carrier mediated facilitation. Then so most of the xenobiotics do undergo the chemical and enzymatic changes and may result in the bioactivation, that's called as the bioinactivation, that's called as the detoxification, whereas the bioactivation is called the lethal synthesis, means an inert substance is converted to more toxic substances. And some compounds require the metabolic activation before they exert their toxic effects. So the bioactivation is the phenomenon of converting an inactive compound or agent into a toxic compound. So it is called as the bioactivation, less toxic to more toxic when it is taken in vivo, means inside the body. So the parathion is a organophosphorus compound. It is converted to the harmful peroxone, whereas the fluoroacetate is converted to fluorocitrate, because this is a rodenticide. Fluoroacetate is converted to fluorocitrate and causes the toxicity. Then bioinactivation. So this is a process which decreases the intensity and duration of the toxic effects. That means the LD50 of the aminopyrin in the mice is 0.24 milligram per kg, whereas its metabolite 4-aminopyrin is 1.2 milligram per kg. That means it is biologically inactivated, and biotransformation takes place into two phases. That's phase 1 and phase 2. Already you have all learned this in the introduction of the general pharmacology. That's the phase 1 reactions. It contains especially the bioactivation, especially the oxidation, reduction, and hydrolysis. Means the oxygen moieties are attached and one molecule is reduced, then it is OH molecule is attained, so that it is becoming more polar and water soluble. Whereas the phase 2 reaction is also called as the conjugation reactions with some highly water soluble and endogenous moieties. Then the biotransformation it produces products are occasionally unstable and decompose to release highly reactive compounds like the free radicals, or they are also known as the electrophiles or the epoxides. So the epoxides are generally unstable and have a strong electrophilic character, and epoxides react with nucleophilic groups in the macromolecules such as the proteins, RNA, and DNA. So ultimately this results in the faulty replication, transcription, and synthesis of varieties of the proteins which are abnormal in nature. So these reactions ultimately lead to the mutations and the carcinogens. Mutation means change in the DNA level, and carcinogen means production of what you call as the toxic cells. So this is biotransformation. Ultimately, this particularly the metabolites should go out of the body, and at the same time it should be inactive. But many times what happens, it produces more toxic substances. Then the phase 1 reactions, it involves the process of oxidation, then the reduction or hydrolysis. So which is unmasking or introduction of the reactive polar group, means water soluble group like OH group or sulfhydryl group or NH or amide group and carboxylic acid group. All these are highly water soluble, and all these make the substance, bioactive substance, to more water soluble and less toxic and get eliminated through the urine. Whereas this is catabolized by the different enzyme systems and body enzyme systems. That's called as the microsomal enzyme system. So ultimately, the conjugation process is also known as the biosynthetic process. Biosynthetic process, and usually the endogenous substances like the glucuronic acids, acetates, sulfates, or amino acids, these are going to be conjugated with that of the particularly the original xenobiotic and make it to be excreted through mainly through bile. The xenobiotic conjugates so formed are water soluble and invariably they are all the inactive in nature. So the already this is just a reminding or revision. The phase 1 reactions of the enzymes participate in the biotransformation reactions like the oxidation, then reduction, and 3 hydrolysis are there. So the enzymes involved in the oxidation are CYP450, then monoxygenase, then deoxygenase, xanthine oxidase. So most of our coffee and tea, what we drink, are metabolized with the help of the xanthine oxidase. Then peroxidases, amine oxidases, depending upon the moiety. Then monoamine oxidase. I think you might have heard about the adrenaline, which is acted by the monoamine oxidase and detoxify. That then dehalogenase also, especially the halogen compounds, they are going to be converted to the less toxic substances. Whereas the reduction, once again, this is CYP 450 dependent, the reductases are there. Then once again, the varieties of the classes are there. The aldehyde reductase, it is going to reduce the aldehydes, and ketone bodies or ketoreductases, the glutathione peroxidases, and N-oxide reductases. These are all the reducing enzymes which are present in the liver. Whereas the hydrolysis, which is attaching the one OH group. So here, some of the compounds are epoxides in nature. Then they are going to be hydrolyzed, epoxide hydrolase. Then carboxylesterase. So the acetylcholinesterase, etc., they are the carboxylase esterase, and glucosidases, then also the amidases which are having NH2 group, all these are hydrolyzed by the amidase. Then alcohol dehydrogenase. So if you drink the alcohol, of course many of you may have got the habit having the chilling in the weekend, etc. So what happens if you drink this OH group? Then the alcohol dehydrogenase will come and it is going to detoxify the alcohol. And certain aldehydes are also there. The aldehyde dehydrogenase will come there and break down. Whereas the aryl sulfatases and superoxide dismutases, all these are the hydrolytic enzymes. So varieties of these hydrolytic enzymes which are present in the liver, then they are going to detoxify these substances. Whereas the phase 1 metabolic reactions usually yield products with decreased activity, usually, but some may give rise to the products which are similar to or even greater biological activity. For example, the phase 1 reactions and activity of the metabolite, here you can see that varieties of the process are there. Detoxification, usually this is the process, 90% of the xenobiotics, they undergo this thing. Whereas the example of this detoxification reaction is pentobarbital sodium is converted to a metabolite. There's the p-hydroxy pentabarbital. So this is non-toxic, means non-active or unreactive, then excreted through kidney. Whereas the procaine, this is converted to p-amino benzoate or para-amino benzoate, and the active metabolite xenobiotic to active metabolite. So this is phenylbutazone, a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory agent, which is going to bind with the selective, non-selective COX-2 inhibitor, COX-1 and COX-2 or cyclooxygenase 2. Ultimately, the arachidonic acid it need to be performed. This is converted to prostaglandins. So it is converted to another metabolite, that is the oxyphenbutazone. This is also equally active. Whereas the aspirin, a very popular drug and known drug even to the laypersons, it is converted to salicylic acid. Acetyl salicylic acid is converted to salicylic acid. So the chloroform, if you inhale or if it is used as an anesthetic, then it is converted to a gas known as the phosgene, or the soluble material called as the phosgene. Then many times the substrates of the phase 1 reactions are these especially end products of the phase 1 reactions are the substrate for the phase 2 reactions, and aniline is converted to para-amino phenol. Whereas the lethal synthesis, remember this several times, always remember many times this questions is asked. Parathione is converted to more active peroxone. The fluoroacetate, once again, it is converted to fluorocitrate. Then frontosyl, which is a converted to the sulfanilamide. So all these need to be remembered very well. Then the oxidation in a little detail, because I think by this time you might have forgotten almost all the process. Just it is a revision, because in very detailed process we have learned with certain diagrams and certain animations and also the short movies. So here most common reaction and may take place in a number of ways, such as the hydroxylation, deamination, desulfuration, then sulfoxide formation. So all these are the oxidation reactions. So in the biotransformation of lipophilic xenobiotics, microsomal oxidation is the most prominent reaction, where the microsomal enzymes, hepatic microsomal enzymes, so they are associated with smooth endoplasmic reticulum, means SPER of the hepatocytes, they are involved. So the lipophilic compounds like the chloramphenicol, phenylbutazone, and many type of the toxic materials like the organophosphorus compounds. So here the microsomal enzymes, they are all involved, and the enzyme site, this cytochrome P450 dependent hemoprotein, he is a heme protein which is the part of the enzyme system termed as the MFO, or mixed function oxidase system. So this mixed function oxidase system is more stronger than that of the regular CYP450. So this is going to be have a role in the biotransformation reactions. So hepatic microsomal P450's role is very important in determining the intensity and duration of action of the drugs. Then detoxification of the toxic chemicals, especially the cytochrome P450, are the family of the hemoprotein oxidoreductases. So this is a special class of the CYP450 system. The heme ion in CYP450 is usually the ferric state, Fe3+, whereas it is reduced to Fe2+, ferrous state. And this can bind with the ligand, such as ligand means oxygen or carbon monoxide. So carbon monoxide derivatives of the reduced form, it shows absorption maximum at the 450 nanometer, hence the name 450 derived. So to repeat again, usually many times this question is asked, why the cytochrome P is cytochrome mixed function oxidase is named as the P450 system. It is because the hepatic microsomal P450's role is very important in determining the intensity, etc., of the drugs. And the cytochrome P450 is a hemoprotein oxidoreductase usually. Then it's the enzyme system, and the heme ion in CYP450 is Fe3+, that is the ferric plus, and it is reduced to ferrous status, Fe2+, and bind to such as ligand as the oxygen and carbon monoxide. So this carbon monoxide derivatives of the reduced form show the absorption at the under the spectrophotometer at 450 millimeter, of which the cytochrome derived its name. Then this CYP450 has a specific requirement of the reduced nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate, that's the NADPH. So apart from the regular this thing or the mixed function oxidase, the CYP450 has a specific requirement of the reduced form of the nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate, NADPH, and the molecular oxygen 1 oxygen. So the basic reaction is catalyzed by the cytochrome 450 system and the monooxygenation, in which one atom of the oxygen is incorporated to a substrate and reduced to water moiety. Then it equivalents derived from the NADPH as this thing. So here the oxygen incorporated into the substrate, one oxygen is incorporated into the substrate, that is the RH, then one oxygen, then NADPH plus hydrogen. So with the help of this CYP 450, it is converted to ROH, then one water molecule and the charged NADP plus. So the enzyme systems of the phase 1 and phase 2 reactions are involved when appropriate functional groups, maybe the alcohol dehydrogenase is involved in the biotransformation of most of the alcohols and also the aldehydes. Whereas the monoamine oxidase, it's a flavin adenine dinucleotide or FAD, and containing the enzyme catalyze oxidative deamination, whereas the epoxide dehydrolases are then they are going to add the water across the epoxide bonds to form the diols, and number of carboxyl esterases are responsible for the biotransformation of certain compounds, including the highly toxic compounds such as the organophosphorus compound. That's why acetylcholine esterase enzymes. So extent to which the metabolic reactions creep with it depends upon the different species of the animal. All will not have the same type. So here some examples of the oxidation xenobiotic. The acetolinide is a xenobiotic that is hydroxylated to paracetamol, the very commonly used antipyretic agent. Then codeine, of course, an antitussive agent with the dealkylation, it is converted to morphine or norcodeine. Then the amphetamine, ephedrine, amphetamine, and pyramine, the sympathomimic amides are so with the hydroxylation process, they are converted to p-hydroxyamphetamine. That's the metabolite. Whereas the amphetamine is converted to benzoic acid with the oxidation and deamination. Then the ethanol is converted to the acetaldehyde with non-microsomal function with the alcohol dehydrogenase enzyme. It is converted to aldehyde. Then the histamines are converted to with the deamination. One amine moiety is cut. Then they are converted to the imidazole acetaldehyde. Then finally, the adrenaline is always converted to the with the help of the monoamine oxidase to 3,4-dihydroxy mandelic acid, which is the end product of the metabolism of the amines, especially the epinephrine and norepinephrine. Then these are some of the cute examples of the oxidation, where next reaction is equally important to that of the oxidation, but it is somehow less common and carried out by xenobiotic reducing enzymes are there, which carry out the reduction process, especially the carbonyl, nitro, and azo groups. Then the reactive oxygen species or ROS species, they require NADPH and are almost certainly mediated by the FAD or flavin adenine dinucleotide phosphate. So the examples of aldehydes and ketones that may be reduced to the corresponding oxygens, like the nitro compounds are reduced to ammones, and also the azo compounds. So the chloral hydrate, a general anesthetic in case of large animals, is converted to trichloroethanol, whereas the prontosil, it's also a azodie converted to sulfanilamide, whereas the halothane is converted to 1,1,1, this trifluoroethane. So they are all converted to the respective alcohols. Then the hydrolysis in very short. So this is a process of cleavaging of the foreign compound by addition of a water, and occurs both in case of the cytoplasm and in case of the smooth endoplasmic reticulum of a cell, especially in case of the many of the body cells and also in case of the liver. An important metabolic pathway which contains the compounds with the ester linkage, that's the CO or O dash or an amide, CONH bond. If it is there, then they will undergo the hydrolysis. So the cleavage of esters or amides, they generate the nucleophilic compounds which undergo the later conjugation. So here what we can see is the substrates of phase 1 reactions, they may not be completely inactive, but they are reduced to more and more water solvent forms and the polar. So the esterase hydrolyze and ester amides to corresponding carboxylic acids or alcohols or amines. Example, the pethidine is converted to pethidinic acid. So what's a pethidine? So it is a hallucinogenic agent. Then the procaine, it is a local anesthetic, is converted to the PABA, para-amino benzoic acid. Of course, you might have heard this thing in the veterinary chemotherapy, especially the PABA is involved in the bacteriostatic agents of inhibiting the synthesis of PABA, the sulfonamide glucoside. Then acetylcholine is converted to the choline plus acetic acid with the help of the enzyme acetylcholine esterase. So remember all these important exams, these things. Whereas the phase 2 reductions or these conjugations, or they are also called as the synthetic reactions. Synthetic means the using the endogenously active substances, they are going to certain new substances are the synthesized, or they are making more polar and also the water soluble. So the usually the substrate of the phase 1 reactions will be the substrate of phase 2 end products of the phase 1 reactions, usually the substrates for the phase 2, because in a single shot it's very difficult to cut all the things. So here OH, COH, NH2, SH groups undergo further transformation to generate non-toxic compounds. And these non-toxic compounds are of very high polarity, means highly water soluble and readily excretable by combined with some hydrophilic endogenous moieties. So they always require the hydrophilus and this endogenous moieties for the conjugating agents. So the examples of the conjugating agents are the glucuronic acid, then acetyl, sulfate, glycerin, cysteine, methionine, and the glutathione. So many of the amino acids and other materials. So these are going to conjugate a different functional group of the xenobiotic. So the drug becomes more soluble, water soluble, and get excreted through the kidney. And most of the phase 2 biotransforming enzymes are located in the cytosol of the cell, cytosol, with the exception of the UDP, uridine diphosphate, and the uridine diphosphate glucuronyl transferase. So that's the UDPGT. So this is a microsomal enzyme system. So when the phase 2 reactions proceed faster than the phase 1 reactions, then it will happen, all the substrates, all the metabolites of the substrate of phase 1 reaction will become the substrates of phase 2 reaction. And once again, the enzyme system makes them to be more polar and water soluble, or else what happens is they will get reabsorbed in the circulation, especially while excretion organ. So the first order kinetic is usually a common state of the elimination of the drug. First order kinetic, equal quantity of the substance is excreted in the unit time. Then the phase 2 reactions and the enzymes and participate in the biotransformation reactions are, suppose there are three types of the important reactions: conjugation, methylation, then also the acetylation. So the glucuronil transferase is one enzyme, and the methylation O-methyl transferase, and acetylation, this the N-methylation. So these are all the substances required for the synthetic reactions, and sulfotransferases are the one of the important agents required for the biosynthesis. Then there, the methylation is caused by the S-methyl transferase. S-methyl transferase. Then this glucosyl transferases, the data is not there, and the thiol transferase also the data is less, and also the amide synthesis, that is the transcyclase, the enzyme. So the conjugation reactions of the different drugs will occur with the enzymes of the body or the cell. Then it is containing the glucuronide conjugation. With it, the glucuronide is combined with that of the xenobiotic and get excreted. So the functional groups in these things are the OH, COH, SH2, then SH and NH2. Whereas the conjugates, the molecules which will combine with the xenobiotics are the glucuronic acid. So they have got very high affinity towards these particular drugs are concerned, or the process is concerned. Then sulfate ester estimation, OH, NH2, or the sulfate. So as usual, it is especially the methylation is one of the important biological reactions. So it converts hydroxyl groups, then amide groups, and sulfide groups to the methyl group conjugate. Is there, then it is going to excreted through the urine. And glutathione conjugation, of course, the most important enzyme system. So the fluorides, chlorides, then the bromides. Along with that of the conjugate is glutathione is the enzyme. Then the amino and acid conjugation, most of the hormones, they do contain the amino acids as the metabolites, and the conjugate is the glycine and taurine. Taurine is also very much required nowadays, as as and when the calcium metabolite is occurring, so it is going to produce the respective taurines. Coming to the conjugation reactions, it is usually classified as two types, these 2 or 3 types usually. Then electrophilic conjugation is number 1, whereas the methyl transfer is another category. That's the electrophilic conjugation. It involves the glucuronide, sulfate, and acetate, then also the glycine and the glutathione. So these are all the enzymes. Whereas the methyl transferase or the nucleophilic conjugations involving only the glutathione, and conjugating moieties do not react directly with the xenobiotics or the metabolites of phase 1 reactions, but do so either in an activated form or with an inactivated form of the xenobiotic. So the conjugation reactions of the material which do undergo the conjugation is it's having certain molecules, predetermined molecules. Then the reaction of between the nucleotides and xenobiotic is catalyzed by a varieties of the enzymes. So the conjugation reaction, what is the basic requirement? Number 1, a conjugating agent required. Then the number 2, the nucleotide containing either conjugation agent or xenobiotic, either of the they are required. And the enzymes like this catechol O-methyl transferase enzyme involved in the this conversion of the metabolites like catecholamine O-methyl transferase, N-methyl transferase. So the phase 1 reactions are ubiquitous, and throughout the mammalian species, each one is having a little difference. Hence, certain synthetic reactions are either slow or absent in certain species. So the glucuronide synthesis takes place at slow rate. It is there, but takes place at slow rate. Whereas the acetylation is absent. The word you see, it is absent in case of the dogs or sometimes the carnivores like the foxes. Whereas the sulfate conjugation is low in case of the pig. Sulfate conjugation, hence one should be having the knowledge of chemistry of the drugs. Then the glucuronidation, this formation of the glucuronic acid metabolites. So there is quantitatively, it is more important, carried by the smooth endoplasmic reticulum bound glucuronyl transferases, whereas the glucuronic acid is donated by the uridine diphosphate or the glucuronic acid, that's the UDPGA, which serves as the endogenous, means it is a substance born inside the mammalian, and the enzyme glucuronyl transferase, it is required for transferring the different ions. Then other endogenous source for the glucuronides formation are the phenols, then alcohols, then carboxylate acids, and many times the amines and hydroxylamine and the mercaptans. So the glucuronide conjugation is many times they excreted to bile and hydrolyzes in the gut and then may be reabsorbed and delivered again into the liver where conjugation may occur again. Whereas the glucuronides synthesis is slow in case of cats due to the low level of the glucuronyl transferase enzyme. Whereas it is absent in certain breeds of the fish. So it is due to the deficiency in the nucleotide UDPGA. So when treating the fish, we need to think several times because we should know the enzymatic system and treat accordingly. So here once again sulfation, another phase of the phase second reaction, and the enzymes involved in the sulfation process are the cytoplasmic sulfotransferases, a group of the soluble enzymes, and they are located primarily in the liver, then kidneys, then intestines, lungs, and also the central nervous system. So we cannot say that which type of the reactions are taking place where, but we can predict that if this particular molecule is having OH group, what happens to it, whether it will have the phase 1 reactions or phase 2. So this pair or 3-phosphoadenosine 5-phosphosulfate or pair is necessary to serve to transfer the sulfhydryl groups of the varieties of the molecules or to a nucleophilic position, that's called as the NO or the S. Then ultimately this process yields a final compound like the etheryl sulfate or sometimes the aromatic and aliphatic amino acids. Sorry. Okay, this process is involving the sulfate conjugation involves the transfer of the especially the sulfoxide 3 or not SO4 from pairs. Then conjugates are mainly excreted through the urine. Sulfate conjugation capacity is limited in case of the pig. Acetylation is less in case of dogs, and the ethyl sulfates are less produced in case of the pigs. So here the sulfotransferase enzyme is lacking, and acetylation. So this is also the biotransformation reactions and major route of the biotransformation for the xenobiotics containing the aromatic amine or a hydrazine group, and also the isoniazid, sulfonamides, etc. when carried out by the cytoplasmic enzyme N acetyltransferase found in the liver and other tissues. So the acetyl donor is acetyl coenzyme A. Then the acetyl coenzyme A, especially, it decreases the water solubility as well as the lipid solubility. And one important thing is the dogs and foxes. Dogs and foxes do not acetylate the aromatic amino group as they lack the enzyme arylamine acetyl transferase. This enzyme is lacking. It is not absent. It is lacking due to the presence of the factor in the blood, which decreases particularly this enzyme. So the dogs and fox, we cannot acetylate. So acetylation, if any drug is there, the acetylation like the sulfonamides, then there is a chance that they may get intoxicated very fast. Then the glutathione conjugation, important detoxification mechanism, that's the GSH, is a tripeptide found in most of the tissues, especially in high concentration in the liver. Then protecting hepatocytes, erythrocytes, and other cells against the toxic injury. Then involved in both enzymatic and non-enzymatic reactions. Then the non-enzymatically it acts as a low molecular weight scavenger of reactive electrophilic xenobiotic and completes with the DNA, RNA, and proteins in capturing the varieties of these electrophiles. Then enzymatic reactions, they involve both glutathione transferase, and this enzyme catalyzes the reaction between the glutathione and aliphatic aromatic epoxidases and the halides. So of course, this is in too much in detail, especially in case of the toxicology. So the kidney is the major excretory organ, and glutathione transferase also reactions of the organic nitrates, so nitrate and nitrates. So the nitrates, NiTrates, are reduced to nitrite, which interact with the amines and result in the formation of the carcinogenic nitrosamines. So this is a dangerous reactions, and depletion of glutathione predisposes to hepatotoxicity and also sometimes the mutagenicity. So cellular level toxicity. So methylation reaction is a minor pathway of the biotransformation. The cofactor, especially the methylation, is S-adenosyl methionine or SAM. Then methylation reactions are catalyzed by cytoplasmic enzyme, the methyl transferase. So the substrates are some of the phenols, this catecholamines, phenylethanolamine, catecholamines, aliphatic and aromatic amines, and the sulfhydryl containing compounds, many of the compounds. Then the conjugation with amino acids. So here the mitochondrial enzymes and N-acetyl transferases are important things, and the substrates for the conjugation are the carboxylic acids. So the xenobiotics containing carboxylic acid group conjugate with the amide group of the amino acids like the glycine, then glutamide, taurine, etc. So bile acids are endogenous substrates for glycine and taurine. So this is a little more chemistry. So bile acids conjugate with glycine and taurine in most of the species except cats and dogs, because here they are conjugate with taurine only. Then benzoic acid conjugates with that of the glycine, and most species, except in case of birds and reptiles. So when you need to have the knowledge of different biological reactions. So ultimately, the benzoic acid combines with that of the glycine and hippuric acid. So in case of birds, this type of reactions, hippuric acid is excreted. Then next is the excretion. Most of the xenobiotics are eliminated by combination of biotransformation and excretion process. So ultimately the substances need to get out of the body, then biotransformation decreases lipid solubility, and thus metabolites become the readily excretable, that's the polar compounds, and are mainly eliminated through the kidneys. And the other important routes of the excretion is via the feces. That may be due to the excretion through the bile, saliva, and the pancreatic secretions. All these are important reactions. Then gaseous metabolites, maybe varieties of gases are used. They are excreted mainly through lung. And this is for the lipophilic substances, whereas as capillary of these alveolar membranes are very, very thin, and they are having very close proximity to each other. So certain toxicants are also acted by the different body secretions, such as the sweat, then milk, and tears. So all the secretions usually contain the toxicants, but the milk becomes dangerous sometimes. Then excretion of the xenobiotics. Here I will tell one example. The animals which are fed with the mimosa in fish accidentally and die, and after feeding their cows with the milk, the cows are also going to die because of the toxicity or toxic material that is secreted through the milk. Suckling animals, they suckle the milk, and public health concern is also there. Then in the next class, we will learn about the factors affecting the toxicity, like the dose, etc.